Welcome back, YouTube, to the Silver 5150 channel with another Big Five. This Big Five here in particular is from the America the Beautiful series. You guys probably recognize Frederick Douglass as part of my America the Beautiful coin collection. In fact, it's my favorite coin, which is why I have two. There's also Shawnee National Forest coin, okay? Then there's a Vicksburg coin, and there's a Warren Pacific coin. Now, there's probably over 100 different designs out there for these coins. And of course, all of them have the signature quarter dollar reverse on the opposite side. And I just don't know why they picked that for these coins, because they're 5 ounces of pure 3/9 silver. They are proof finish, and they are just absolutely gorgeous. Despite all that, let's take a quick look at Frederick Douglass, of course. He is a great abolitionist, and I think he was an orator, and he was a bank president, and he actually ran as vice president on the equal rights ticket or something back in the day. But he was born a slave, I think, in Maryland, and really, really made great strides, and kind of defeated that whole idea that Negroes back then didn't have the capacity or the intelligence to make a good vote, to be able to vote properly, and just kind of blow all that out of the water. So he made quite a splash, back during this time. Here is the Shawnee National Forest, I believe, and I think that is the home of the National Forest Service. I think that's there in Illinois somewhere, and that's where the National Forest Service, they kind of headquartered out of there, and Department of Forestry and Agriculture and all that, in that same group. This is Vicksburg coin, and that's one of those Confederate ships, I believe, that was supposedly invincible, and they actually lost it and lost the battle, and it was a big loss for the Confederate Army. And then again, the War in the Pacific, and this here looks to be possibly the beaches at Normandy. I think I see some of those troop carrying boats. They're pulling up on the shore. See if we can do something about the reflection of the light. Anyway, these are all very well crafted coins, and the United States Mint, they're not known for doing things very different. They like to make their silver American Eagles, the gold American Eagles, gold Buffaloes, and then, whatever kind of base metal coins that we use here in transacting in present day. I look at these coins, and just real quick, I want to reflect on how these are all very different times, back in the 40s, of course. I think back in the early 1800s with Mr. Douglas. And then Department of Forestry, I think, was incepted in the 1920s during the Roosevelt era, or even earlier. And then the war, back in the 1800s. And so, I'm in line today at the store, and I hear 2 young ladies talking, and they are just throwing out curse words like nobody's business. The obscenities are just coming out, and they're just doing casual conversation. They're not really, getting too carried away with, their energy or their attitude about the conversation. It's just casual conversation, but every other word is like a curse word, and it reminded me of the lack of decorum there is in our society nowadays. And I don't know if it's because we just have a lot of prosperity, or if we raise our kids differently, or I don't know, maybe it's just a trend. Maybe it's like an accessory. Having foul language exit your mouth all the time is just a cultural accessory. So, I mean, I did the same thing when I was younger in my 20s. I was a, I wouldn't say I was a bad kid, but I was, running the streets quite a bit, and I was getting in trouble, and, I exhibited foul language and all that. But eventually I grew out of it. So it's my hope that as I hear some of the young folks out there that haven't gotten a grip on their attitudes or their language, that they start to do that at some point. So pot, meat kettle. I can't sit there and cast judgment or anything like that, but I think about what kind of behavior did this man have to exhibit to not get in prison or something during that time. I mean, for Frederick Douglass to get as far as he did, you would have to think that he was on his best behavior every time it mattered to make the kind of progress he did. And then, of course, wrote some great papers and wrote a book. I can't remember what the name of the book is anymore. I think it's like My Life, My Freedom or something like that. And yeah, man, just does it pay off? Does it pay off to, try to make the effort to be more upstanding, or is it just too corny right now? Is it, like Huey Lewis and them say, it's hip to be square. Is it hip to be square? Will you get beat up if you're too square? You won't get the girl, that's for sure. Anyway, I was gonna stop rambling about that right now and tell you that American Beautiful coins are freaking awesome. But as you start to get back in earlier years, 2011 on this one, you can expect to pay earlier year premiums, just like with the Queen's Beast Lions from another video. So we're going to cut it there, but just understand that you can't go wrong with any, and I mean any of the 100 designs or more of America the Beautiful coins, and they're good 5 ounce coins to add to your stack. Chances are, though, if you buy some, you're going to have to get capsules for them, so keep that in mind. Capsules running about $2, and then also expect there to be some toning on the coins as they are so proof in their finish and the way they're designed. It's going to happen. But to me, it's kind of like, I don't know, a beauty mark. I like it. I like the toning on the coins, and I like the American Beautiful coins, period. If I could afford to, I would get all of them. But if you remember, they had quarters out there that had those same designs, and there's at least 50 of those. So these are those designs, and they run, forever and ever. I mean, so good luck trying to collect them all. But if you do, that's a good job. That's good work. All right. We're here at Silver 5150 channel signing out, asking you to like, share, and subscribe if you dig this kind of content, and give us a thumbs up. We always appreciate that. And have a good night.